I'm Howie McCormick, owner of Howie McCormick Photography in Gasaway, West Virginia, where we specialize in high school senior portraits. The first year for the studio was 2009, not this studio, but the one that we were in before. And we were at that location for 2 years before moving here. When we were up there, I think we averaged probably 20 seniors a year maybe. 2012, the class of 2012 was the first year that I photographed from this building, in this location downtown in Gasaway. And ever since then, it's been a pretty steady climb, all up until this year. Last year's class was the most I'd ever done, at about 90 seniors. This year I've scaled way back so that I can focus more on customer service and things like that. So while I specialize in high school senior portraits, my first, love in photography was sports photography, action photography. I used to go through like Sports Illustrated magazines all the time and just pick out pictures that I liked and save them, or like I'd scrapbook them, or weird things like that. But I always kind of picked up on the look of them and tried to figure out how they got that shot or whatever. Got a job as a freelance photographer at the Ironton Tribune there in Ironton, Ohio, and that was my first, paid job as a photographer. But I loved it because like I said, I grew up looking at Sports Illustrated and ESPN the magazine, things like that, and really wanted to be doing what those guys were doing, getting those kinds of really awesome sports photographs. But when I was there, I shot action sports, I shot news stories, business profiles, feature stuff, whatever. So I had to learn a lot of different techniques because I was learning on the fly, for one. And as a photojournalist, you basically have to be able to make the most out of your situation. I mean, you have your own lighting equipment and lenses, and just have to know how to use all of them to best tell the story. So I try to incorporate as much of that as I can into my senior portraits, because every senior has their own story and their own personality. So I got to take my tools and try to figure out what the best way to showcase each senior using that. Future of the business, my guess would be just to kind of keep doing what I'm doing, see how this year goes as far as scaling back, focus more on customer service. Got to find that balance of having enough business coming in, but not so much that it slows me down on the back end with post-production and all of that stuff, because that doesn't work out well for anybody. And also, I think it would be naive to say that I could do this all by myself. It's a very big undertaking, even 30, 40, 50 seniors, to try to do it all yourself, because when it comes to business, and especially the photography business, I think a lot of people think it's just going out and taking pretty pictures and putting them on Facebook or whatever, but there's so much more involved. If you're running a legitimate business, there's bookwork, and there's packaging, and there's turnaround times and deadlines and all of that stuff that I think gets overlooked when people think of starting a photography business. But it's just like any other business. There's a lot of work on the back end, a lot of time spent at the computer, a lot of time spent in paperwork. So to act like, or to think that I could do it all without having a small army around me of people to help, whether it's retouching or shooting behind the scenes videos, or helping with lighting, or ordering appointments, making sure that customers get taken care of. All of that stuff matters. So as I go forward, I have to think about those kind of things and how to best build a team that's going to allow me to still do what I do to the level that people expect, but also provide customer service like people expect. So I think that in any artistic or creative profession, or even if it's a hobby or whatever, I think we all want our work to be accepted and appreciated or valued or whatever. So it can be a very fulfilling career when you photograph someone who maybe thinks that they're not that photogenic, and then they see their pictures and they're like, oh wow, I'm pretty daggone good today. And so that's always a good feeling when you can post somebody's pictures and then you see them getting positive feedback on it and stuff like that, and they enjoy it. It's good for them, it's good for me. And the other part of that is not just on the portrait side of things, but when I still get to do photojournalistic type stuff. It sounds kind of cheesy, I guess, but doing that, those are all moments that don't happen twice, and it's a good thing to document those moments, good or bad. Like when I'm shooting high school sports, if the team makes it all the way to the state championship and there they are playing in the final seconds and the game's tied, it could go either way. In a few seconds they're going to either be state champions or they're just going to have lost the state championship, so they're going to be on one end of the spectrum or the other. And I think maybe not immediately, but down the road, no matter what happens, they're going to appreciate those pictures. If they win, they're going to appreciate the pictures right away. If they lose, they're not going to want to see them for a few years probably. But in due time, like I said, I think they'll come to appreciate these kind of things. So I guess overall, what it's like to live the life of a photographer is, to me, fulfilling, rewarding.